Top left.
This is what happens when you put me in charge.
Well, learned our lesson now.
I said, hey, everybody. It is Mike and Danny and John here for a year in review for Hobby Think Tank. How's it going, guys?
Everything's great, right?
Good. Yeah.
Swimming along. How's the ranch, Mike Moynihan?
I am hanging out and enjoying some nice, cool weather, and going to shoot some hogs later. And yeah,
Shoots. Is that code for something?
No, that's literal.
Euphemism.
Very literal.
Put your safe search on your browser and shoot some hogs.
Yeah. I collect cards and shoot hogs. That's
this
a new channel.
This is 2023 in a nutshell.
It is.
It just got hot in here all of a sudden.
All right, I got a question for you guys. This is how far are we along in Hobby Think Tank? Are we a year in yet, or is this?
We are a year. Yeah, you called me a year ago this week to ask me if I'd be interested in joining.
Well, here we are. 1 year later, Hobby Think Tank. We've probably done 45 episodes, I would guess. It's a weekly show, right? Every Thursday. Two of the four of us dudes are going to be on it, thinking through different topics. Have you guys, Danny, I'll start with you. Have you enjoyed the Hobby Think Tank experience?
Other than the host, it's really been fantastic.
Yeah.
No, this is fun. I mean, listen, we all do other shows, but this is fun. This is just us talking the hobby. I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Have we solved anything? We were supposed to solve problems, were we not?
I think we've raised good questions. I think we've had a little fun.
Maybe created some problems that didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, what about you, Mr. Hero?
I've enjoyed it a lot. I'm still here, until you fire me. I'm hanging on.
This is really an intervention, Mike. This isn't really an episode that we're going to air.
Here we go.
We wanted to talk to you about your tenure here.
No, bummer.
And guys, we pulled Mr. Keating out of the retirement heap. You know, he was ready to hang him up, but we got him doing regular content again. And that's good for everybody.
Right. Yeah. Keating, that's a year straight on a show.
Yeah, it's pretty it's the longest commitment I've ever had in my life.
Are you enjoying it?
I do. Yes, I am. But have we learned anything as a hobby this year? Did we learn anything as a hobby this year? Not necessarily just us four, but has the hobby learned anything? Are we still going to do stupid crap in 2024?
I think some people have learned, and some people will never, will have fear of change and blinders on. But I think some people have learned. I feel stronger in my love of vintage now, and I think that's been reinforced personally in my life the last year. So that's been a cool thing to, I think that's learning, What about you, Mike?
Which one?
You.
Oh, I think we're learning that repack products are taking over the world. And I think the hobby is better now than it was a year ago. Overall, I would say the hobby's in a good place. It needed to settle down. It's going through that process of continuing to settle down. I think we have weeded out a lot of the non-committed people. I don't even want to say collectors, but people that are just committed to the long-term health of the hobby, right? That can be dealers and collectors. And, you need an ecosystem. A hobby ecosystem needs to exist. And I think that we're getting to an equilibrium in the hobby where you've weeded out kind of some of the crazy. Junk Wax, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's, first of all, prices for the cards I like are way down, which I love. It's so much easier to find the cards I want. Now, the semi-rare cards that I'm looking for, vintage autographed cards, aren't showing up on eBay like they used to. People are hanging on to them more because they're just not going to sell them for as much as they were a year or 2 years ago. But cards, if you're willing to wait and you're patient, you can get cards way cheaper now than you could have a year ago, and I love that.
Hey, does the hobby need suckers to bring money in and spread money around and then get out?
Does every business?
Yeah, I mean, COVID kind of brought the hobby out of the dark ages, I suppose, with all that money and all that stuff and all the hype and all that. So, has it grown, or can it sustain its growth without a consistent influx of people that have no idea what they're doing and spending ridiculously?
Why can't it just be a phase? I mean,
I don't know though. It's going into a different? Obviously, we're going into it's not even a different chapter. It seems like a whole different book with coming out of COVID plus the consolidation of licenses. So, you have these guys at Fanatics bought high almost, right? They bought off of 2020, 2021 numbers. They certainly paid a lot for the licenses. How's that going to affect the hobby moving forward without that influx of silly money?
Well, they're not going to be able to charge as much for a box as that silly money gets out of the hobby. I mean, they can charge it, but they just won't sell this.
How much did Bowman Draft go for a box right now?
Yeah, so that's one thing. That's a good point, Danny. Is they're introducing gimmicks, I think, more than they used to. The Tom Brady thing, as much as I think it's a gimmick, and that's not a bad thing. It's just not.
And bounties, right? They want bounties because they want people buying and opening.
Well, can I flip it upside down? How many kids got into the hobby during the pandemic that will stay card collectors the rest of their lives because the money never affected them? They weren't getting into it for the finances at all. They were just getting into it because cards were fun and Dad was into it. And how many new collectors were created? I think that could be a positive.
I think that's a minority of young collectors, are how you describe them, in my opinion. I've been approached in regional shows several times over by kids, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, that ask me if I'm selling. Am I selling? Which is, haven't had that much interest since a Grateful Dead concert back in what I was holding and what I was selling. So, I mean, sure, that's not all the, that's not all the kids in the hobby, but man, that's pretty bold. This sort of generation asking me, cold calling me essentially on a card show floor, asking me what I'm selling.
They must smell death on you, John. Just like this guy's ready.
It wasn't death. It was the hoagie in my pocket they were smelling, I guess.
Or are you just happy to see them?
So I mean, that's
Yikes.
we've created a new, as Joe Pesci would say, we created a new Ute. And is this Ute a positive? Have you seen a lot of good Utes out there, Danny, outside of your family?
I have seen the kids you're talking about at shows, but I think those are the minority. I think the kids that are spending thousands of dollars are the minority. I think there's more kids buying packs. I love the buyback program. I think that's a great addition to the hobby for kids to speculate on MVPs and all sorts of stuff. So I think there is some positives for the kids entering the hobby. I do really feel that's been a positive.
Yeah, I think you're right, Danny. The kids who are spending thousands of dollars at card shows and carrying around their Zion or Pelican case, whatever they are visible. They're on YouTube channels. They're featured everywhere, but there aren't a ton of those. But what I think there are more of now are those 20-something investors who were into meme stocks. They were buying AMC and what was the other meme stock?
GameStop.
GameStop. Thank you. And then those crashed, and then they thought they'd get into sports cards. But I don't know that we see some YouTube channels that have shut down that were like that, but those guys are going to be around for a long time. A lot of them.
Well, you just brought up something interesting. I've seen a lot of content creators exit.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of popular channels that have lost the luster, and it wasn't even, I don't know if they just didn't have anything else to talk about, maybe. I don't know. And that's where roots, when you build roots in a hobby, you kind of don't ever run out of things to talk about because there's always new branches springing off of those roots. If you don't have any roots, you die a quick death. I think the kid thing is great. I see the shows I've been to this year were heavily attended by kids, and I would go if I had to vote Danny or John on terms of the majority of kids. I think they're more like the kid Danny described in terms of just kids enjoying the hobby, right? And is money always going to play a part in every decision? Of course, I just don't think they're these money grubbing, lusting after the almighty dollar that John, there are some of those for sure. John got approached and solicited for his services.
That's just because you're beautiful.
Yeah, my restraining order got completely crushed several times.
But I think there's still so much of this story to play out, right? We really don't know what Fanatics is going to unfold over the next 12 to 24 months as their licenses get more and more robust. Right now it's kind of still working itself out, right? Things are still expiring with Panini and moving over to Fanatics, and that's going to take some time. It'll be fascinating to watch the hobby evolve over the next 12 to 24 months. And I mean that in a good way. I'm excited about that. I'm not so, oh my gosh, Fanatics are going to kill the hobby. I actually disagree with that. Doesn't mean I'm going to participate in what Fanatics is going to be doing, releasing new products. But I think they are going to try really, really hard and throw an absolute crap ton of money towards bringing in the next generation of hobbyists into this world that we call our love, our passion.
Yeah, but what's the bait? What the bait isn't collecting 24 of your hometown heroes. It's collecting the one of 10 or the one of 5, and it isn't because it's a beautiful shiny card. It's because of what's attached to it, the perceived monetary value.
I don't think Fanatics cares what they're going to throw out all kinds of bait in the water, and they're going to use, they'll catch some fish with a certain kind of bait and others with another. Man, I'm using a lot of ranch analogies.
You are doing ranch. We got to get you back to the
country Mike. Man. Today, you're country Mike.
So I think, can we all agree though that the things that Fanatics will do probably won't impact us? We're not going to go out and buy $650 Bowman draft boxes to find a Tom Brady card, right? That doesn't appeal to us.
Zero.
I feel like Danny was like the first enlightened one out of the 4 of us. I don't know what Danny's buying habits are, but I think the 3 of us, we haven't discussed it. The other 3 of us have slowly backed away from buying any kind of sealed product or whatever. I know Mike from Maine, you had a little thing where you said you weren't going to open any this year. I think Mr. Moynihan has kind of curtailed it a little bit. I know I have as well. So it's, how do they get the geezers like us who have, in theory, more disposable income? We're probably the ones they want to target, but how do they target us, or how do they get us back?
Well, there's still plenty of those guys. Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, those are the guys who are doing breaks and repacks and things like that now. I mean, I don't think any of you guys are. I know I'm not, but I think a lot of people, because boxes cost so much money, a good box, hobby box or whatever, costs so much money. The only way to affordably buy in is to get in on breaks.
Yeah, but would you rather have 24 people buying into a box break, or would you rather have one person buying a box? You'd rather have one person buying a box instead of going through a breaker and buying a 24th of a box or whatever, however many.
If you're fanatics, you're saying? Is that the question?
Yeah, right? You'd rather sell a box to each person in that break than to sell portions of that box. You know?
Yeah, but then your print runs skyrocket, because if you're selling 24 boxes instead of one, you would have to jack up your print runs.
Well, there's a lot of products too. How many products do they put out? So if you could get people to buy a box of every product, right? What's that, Danny?
No, we're in junk wax too.
We've been in it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something we need to acknowledge, is that the production numbers, exactly what you said, are going through the roof again. And for geezers like us, what are they doing? They're doing inserts with Josh Gibson and Johnny Bench autographs, and they're trying to tie in older players and older autographs. But I don't know that it attracts us. I think
I challenge
a single card we might go after it, but not a box.
Well, to your point, Danny, I would challenge anyone out there that's listening to this or watching this to whatever your favorite product is, whether it's flagship, heritage, Topps definitive, whatever. Go out, whatever the cost of a box, even Bowman, whatever the cost of a box is, take that amount of money and just go buy all the singles that you would love to get out of that box. And I bet you will be much, much happier, and you will get way more cards than you would ever get out of any random box that you could hope to pick. You're not going to hit the giant card, but guess what? You're not going to hit it anyway. I hate to tell you. And so I love the build my own box theory. I do that with triple threads. I do it with certain products that I really like, that I like the stuff.
5-star, right?
5-star. I'll go out and build my own box. I'll spend the same amount of money, and I get 3 times as many cards, all the players I want, and I have money left over. It's an amazing, I'm telling you guys, if out there, if you don't know this idea, just try it. Just try it. And I bet you I can convince you that you'll never buy another box again. You'll just go buy singles. So, but somebody's got to open the boxes. Just don't be the sucker.
Right.
Yeah. I used to have a wax budget until I think it was probably around April of this year, where I said, I got to stop opening these. And I bought.
Is that how often you get waxed?
I thought he was talking about Brazilian wax.
Probably should.
Bikini wax.
I bought a couple blasters, and then I bought a mini jumbo box or something. I don't know what it's called, the other day with some Christmas money. I'm almost 45, and my parents still give me cash for Christmas. I'm not complaining. It's just funny. But I used to have this money every time I would go to Target. I would, not every time, but I would frequently say, oh, there's a Topps Update blaster, $35. Now instead I say, okay, I was going to spend this on a blaster. Instead, I'm going to go to eBay and buy a $35 card.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's people that specialize in that out there. Mike O every Tuesday night has his show, and I've learned, through some of the lessons you taught me, Mike Moynihan, buy the ones you want. Spend $3 on a Carl Yastrzemski refractor instead of $95 on a whole box of Heritage or whatever.
Can I give a shout out to one of our viewers who contacted me?
Sure.
Jason, and he's a fan of the show, and he's getting into vintage and pre-war, and enjoys watching us. So I want to give a thank you to Jason and to everybody else who's watched this past year.
So he's the one viewer. That's awesome. I was wondering who the one guy was that watched every week.
I met the one.
That's fantastic.
Congrats, man. What are we going to do about where are we at with the hobby Karens who everything that happens is the end of the world? What are they going to have a good year in 2024, or the hobby Karens on their way out the door? Have we learned to realize that Fanatics, Topps, whomever is going to screw up? We just get on with it.
Yeah, the big drama on Twitter this week, Twitter and Facebook, was dads buying packs of cards for their kids for Christmas, opening the packs, inserting a card of their favorite player, and then resealing it, and then posting video of their kid so excited to open that card, and people are saying, "You're a repacker, you're scum." Well, like how is this not good? This kid was so happy. I've seen 2 or 3 of these videos, and people just pile on them. It's a little kid.
How does your mom repack these cards? Does she do it with wax or glue?
Let's not talk about my mom wax.
Sounds like she's giving you money. She's definitely taking that next step in repacking.
Yeah, those are the Karens this week. Are the people? There are so many people who just want to get up in arms over everything.
Well, the people who want to tell you how to collect. That's what they do. They don't like the way you're collecting. They want to criticize. You have to collect their way. You have to do things their way. There's give a shout out to Denny.
Jeez, are you getting paid for all these, dude, or what?
No, just nice people. That's part of the hobby. It's nice people.
It's got to be worth $3 or $4 per mention.
Got to report this income, Danny.
He calls them should heads because they go around telling you what you should do all the time. And it's John, to your point, like I've lost it with people telling other people in the hobby what they should be doing and what they should not be doing. I hope 2024 has less of that.
As we sit here and tell people they shouldn't buy wax and they should
buy singles. Guess what? This
that's just collecting guidance.
Yeah.
Guess who's telling you what to collect? That's Tops and Fanatics. They're telling you what to collect. Because, as we know, I sound like a dead horse, or I'm beating a dead horse. I sound like a broken drum. You can't tame the secondary market, so they're going to continue to tell you how to collect and shape your collecting methods and methodology.
Well, just like the Karens, just ignore it. You don't have to fall prey to any influencer. Now, I get influenced all the time. I'll see John show a card or Daniel post something on Instagram, or Michael show a Diamond King that I don't have. And it makes me want to go out and buy it. But you're not telling me I should or have to. You're saying this is a great card. Here's why I love it. And I just agree. That's all. It's like, I agree that's a great card. And here's why I would love it. And it might be slightly different than the reason you love it. I mean, I buy Carly Strimsky cards to shoot here at the ranch. I put them up on the post and stuff like that.
So only one card you should be shooting, and that's this guy.
Nice one.
Yeah. Steve Garvey.
Steve Garvey.
Got 3D arm hairs. Imagine having 3D arm hairs opening that as a 12-year-old at breakfast. And
what year was that Kellogg's one?
Who cares? He sucked.
Can you floss your teeth with those arm hairs or no?
Is he the most overrated
77?
He's the most. Oh, exactly, Danny. Thank you for being on that hill with me.
I'm there too.
All right.
Sorry, Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer. Fight me, Danny. Joe Mauer's a Hall of Famer.
There we go. Now we're turning on each other. It's just what they want us to do, guys. Don't let Tops win.
Stephen A. If we agreed on everything, this would be a very boring show. So that's the whole idea. And Joe Mauer is a Hall of Famer, by the way.
Yeah. Not quite yet, but who will be? How's that going, by the way? I guess, I think that, are we reaching an age where the supposed juicers are going to get a little bit of cred? It seems that way, right? This year?
Boy, maybe Gary not. Sheffield's awfully close. He's
going
to come
see
very
some votes
close
coming in there, right?
And
I'd like to see that turn around. I'd like to see,
the guys who didn't test positive after testing started. It's the A-Rods and the Manny Ramirez's who tested positive, who were so stupid that they tested positive, especially numerous times. Manny, how many times did Manny test positive? Manny was my favorite, but come on.
Manny was not the sharpest knife in the drawer, no matter what.
One of the greatest hitters of all time.
He could hit like a son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yes. And Albert Bell might be the best right-handed hitters I've ever seen.
Yeah. Again, somebody, I think it was Mark McGuire, said, or maybe it was referring to Mark McGuire, or Barry Bonds, you still had to do the work, right? It's not like you took a shot or a pill. and you walked out there and had an edge. You still had to put the work in, and those guys put the work in, playing against other players that probably took steroids and didn't put the work in, and pitchers and stuff like that, and other players. It's just be nice to see that there has never been a perfect era in baseball. Somebody's cheating right now. Somebody's, your boys up there in New England won 7 Super Bowls, most likely cheating. So it's, I don't know, we're being cheated every aspect of our life. Why do we care about a guy who took medicine to heal quicker or to get bigger? Why
Can
do
we
care
talk about
that?
greenies?
Yeah, well, Greenies, right? The whole thing. Gaylord Perry, what did he base his career and post-career off of, right? Just it's a stand that's popular to take, but if you peel back the layers, maybe it kind of makes a little bit more sense in context for sure.
Yeah, wouldn't you think that Barry Bonds would still have been the best player in the league? I mean, he was. I mean,
he had a Hall of Fame career before he started taking steroids.
And you've got, Brady Anderson is the classic, no offense, Danny, he's a Baltimore Oriole, but, in 1997 or what year was it? He hit 50, whatever home runs or something.
52 was
51.
It was a miracle. It was a blessing and a miracle, Mike. It was all natural.
Miracle.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It was the blue crabs.
Brady Anderson hit 50 exactly in 1996.
Yeah, what did he do? Rollerblading? What was his thing? Was rollerblading his workout regimen?
He was 32.
He had 27 one year. Am I correct?
He had 21 in 1992, and then he had 24 in 99, and those were his 2 other highest years. And
proving his power. If you add them up, they almost equal the other year.
Yeah, right. He just tried.
It's funny how that's changing, though. I do think that there's more people softening to the steroids. Again, I've been on the hill a long time by myself, feeling like I don't want to erase an entire era of baseball. It's just I'm just not willing to do it. Gary Sheffield was a beast. Manny Ramirez was a beast. Manny's dumber than Gary Sheffield, but in terms of getting caught. But if Gary Sheffield never tested positive when it was, illegal, so to speak. Rafael Palmeiro should be in the Hall of Fame. Give me a break.
That's the question. Who's more of a Hall of Famer, Rafael Palmeiro or Howard Baines?
Not a question.
Palmeiro's finger wagging at the.
What are we doing?
Was he the one who finger wagged?
Yeah.
In the testimony in front of Congress, that will live in infamy forever.
Yeah,
I spent some time around the Baltimore Orioles when Palmeiro was there. I do not like Rafael Palmeiro as a person. He's a scumbag.
Nice person. Yeah.
But he was a great hitter when he came up with the Cubs. Texas, I'm sure he did well there, right? I don't know how those teams did win championships.
His power numbers got much better when he got to Baltimore late in his career.
Yeah.
Another guy was Luis Gonzalez, 33 years old when he hit 57 home runs. Had never hit more than 31.
What about Ryan Braun? Talk about dopes, right?
I saw a quote today. I saw a quote today that he said that he's the best Brewer who ever played the game.
Best player to ever put on a Brewer uniform, right? Obviously, Hank Aaron didn't have his glory years ever, but Robin Yount was pretty good. Paul Molitor was pretty good. There's a lot of Brewers in the Hall. People that stop by Milwaukee.
Juan Nieves.
Eddie Higuero.
Teddy Higuera.
Yeah.
Teddy Higuera.
I don't know why. I always think of Teddy Higuera with the Brewers. I use him on Immaculate Grid all the time.
Yeah, this is our Immaculate Grid coming out.
I was about to say.
How about that being a wonderful 2023 addition to our baseball fandom?
We talked about that. That's amazing, right? You know what's great about it? It's crack, but it's educational crack. We learn from it. I've learned to walk away when I click that box and nothing pops up, then I just walk away. I've learned to.
I do the same thing, John. I thought I was the only one. That's like I'll get on there and I'll be like, I mean, if the answers aren't just coming to me, I don't sit there and wreck my brain about it.
Yeah.
And I love my favorites are the ones where it's like a player that hit 300 home runs and hit 300 once. And, when you do the stats thing versus
Saturday.
Yes. I love those.
Every Saturday. It's just all stats. I love it.
That's how you learn, right? Like instead of somebody saying to you, what should I collect? What should I buy? Where should I go? All that stuff. Go on, click the boxes, click everything on Baseball Reference and learn about the people is what I say. They give you all those options every day. You go on to Baseball Reference. There's a new bunch of pictures to click, and I still do that. I just click the heck out of those pictures and read bios and all that stuff. That's how we learn it. That's how I learn to collect more things.
I think we've lost a lot of that yearning to learn, and it's dying with the quick fix generation of my kids, for example. They just want the quick fix, They don't want to learn it themselves. They want to go watch a quick YouTube video about it and figure out how to do it and then forget. It's fire and forget. Figure it out, solve the problem, move on to the next thing.
I almost had a domestic violence incident yesterday when my kid said the toaster didn't work and grabbed the toaster and was going to walk into another room and plug the toaster into another room. I had to teach him how to reset a GFCI. And I was like, look, see this button right here? Push this button. I don't know where he was going with the toaster. He said he didn't have time.
The bathroom, in the tub.
But you're right. That's that generation, man. Like, I almost strangled him with the toaster cord. I said, no, you're going to sit here and we're going to teach you what this is about. And it was an amazing moment in Keating family history. But
before we end this episode, I want to go around real quick. What is each of you looking forward to most in 2024 that's hobby related, whether it's a show or a card you want to try to get or something? Keating, start with you.
It's very selfish, and I'm a very selfish person. But I'm looking forward to, after 9 years of paying college tuition, that's ended. I'm done paying college tuition. So I'm looking forward to, thank you. I'm looking forward to perhaps having some larger pockets at some of these shows, and not to buy the big guys, but just to buy a bunch of little guys. I like little guys. I like a bunch of Oompa Loompas instead of one Veruca salt. So give me a whole herd of Oompa Loompas.
You're going to some shows to buy little guys.
I'll buy some little guys.
Okay, good.
They seem like they want to sell. They're asking you if you're selling little guys. So.
I don't know if I've ever been speechless on this show.
Little guys, I'm coming for you.
Danny, what about you? What are you looking forward to most?
Staying away from Keating when we end up at the same shows.
You don't want to end up in jail.
I'm genuinely looking forward to finally getting a Brooks Robinson rookie. I just feel like I've been searching for that forever and have not pulled the trigger. So,
what will you whine about when you get it? What will you left to whine about when you do get it?
Oh, I got plenty to whine about.
Okay.
Well, I'm on the other side of what you just said. I've got a daughter who is going to be a senior in high school next year. We're college looking, and then I got twins a couple years behind that. So I plan on buying, I think, no cards for 10 years.
Get the Brooksy now. Get it done.
Get it now, man.
I'm going to try to get it quick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mike?
Well, the easy answer is the National, but in 5 weeks, I'm going to be in Texas, and I'm going to be going through the Beast. I'll be at Mike's house.
Nice. He'll be at the ranch.
He will. He probably. Oh, I'm at the. Were you planning on being here today? So I'm going to Dallas for work, and it's what do we decide? 45, 50-minute drive from your house.
And so
I'm gonna Uber over there and check out the Beast and steal a bunch of Diamond King autographs.
You'll be the last of the Hobby Think Tank crew to visit my house. Danny has been to my house. John has been to my house. Danny, you came with, didn't you come with John? Oh, you've never been to Dallas either.
Nope.
Right. I thought, it wasn't you. I guess you need to make a trip too. What are you doing in February?
Yeah, come on out there. You can. Mike needs a driver.
Right.
You can bring the.
He drove me all around Chicago.
Whatever you're paying on Uber, that'll cover the flight.
Exactly, man.
Danny
that's crazy.
Danny did drive me around Chantilly area, so that was super nice. We almost
and
had
then
to,
into West Virginia.
we had to almost call the fire department to break into our hotel room to wake his kid up because he wouldn't.
That was a 2023 memory.
Yeah. No, that was 2022. That was actually October last year. Yeah.
Wow, it seemed like yesterday.
So for me, I'm looking forward, of course, to Mike's visit. I mean, I'm super stoked about that. But beyond that, I'm looking forward. I'm going to Strongsville in April, and I'm excited about checking out that show. And I've heard, for years, it's been one of those. And to me, I'm at the point, John, just like you, my daughter's getting married in a few weeks. Kids are out of college. There's just, I want to be able to be more, just do more experiences around the hobby instead of Dallas show every 2 months or whatever. It feels like same old, same old. I want to do some different things, and chasing cardboard gives me an opportunity to do that some, but I also just want to do it on my own. So Strongsville is my thing I'm looking forward to most through April. Then we'll get to whatever the next thing is after that.
That's awesome. I am so happy you're going to Strongsville.
Will you be there with me?
I've been to the last 3 years.
Nice. Got to get Keating down there. I know Mike won't go anywhere. He doesn't like to travel, but
not outside of Maine.
I'm driving to the National, and that's in the same state, right?
True.
Yeah, it is.
Huh. Well,
Keating,
if the schedule allows, if the schedule allows, I'll do it. But I am also the most cynical person on this panel, and to me, I say, what if it doesn't live up to its hype? So
that's what every experience is about, trying to find out.
I guess so. I guess you're right. Did I mention I was cynical?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Mike, take us home, man.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us for 2023, the first year of Hobby Think Tank. It has been awesome. I've enjoyed it a lot. I know these guys haven't, but I'm dragging them along with me, carrying them, my three anchors here.
Big shoulders.
Let us know what your favorite thing in 2023 was and what you're looking forward to most in 2024 in comments. Thanks very much for watching.
Hey guys, you only have 19 more years left on your contract. We'll see you guys later. Keep collecting.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.